MicroStrategy, in the last 5 years since they announced their Bitcoin Treasury strategy, they've gone from $31 a share to $330 a share. That's a 10x in 5 years. Well, that's absolutely excellent. Why wouldn't you want to own some of that equity? Like, that's a brilliant result. Now, of course, always peg that back to what Bitcoin has done in the same time frame. But you've also got MetaPlanet, a business that took on a strategy very similar in April of 2024 through to the spot price of today. Their Japanese yen price of $27 is 27 Japanese yen has flown to 596 yen as of today. That's a 2,000% increase, 21x your money. Wow. Now, of course, be very careful of the timelines that these prices are quoted against, because when I started this podcast, I mentioned a 7,000% return. Well, that was actually in relation to MetaPlanet that at one point was 70x your money, had you got in at the right time and exited at the right time. But would you have known that that was the right time to get in or the right time to get out? Did you have the lens and the analytical skills to know where you were actually at? Well, perhaps not, right? And that's where this gets really interesting. So what are we dealing with here? Well, we're dealing with an investment scenario that hasn't really existed before. So what the hell is going on out there? And the typical lens that a value investor would take to these equities, they don't work. They do not see value when there might be. And so how do we find that? Huge shout out to Mark Moss. If you're a follower of his content and newsletter, you know that he's part of the Bitcoin Opportunity Fund and is also raising a fund in the Bitcoin Treasury space. And he had an excellent PDF that I got my hands on at one point that I was able to run through that helped to identify how professional investors are starting to analyze these companies. Like, why has MicroStrategy performed like that? Why has MetaPlanet performed like that? And why have other companies like Assembler Scientific not performed like that? And my feel here is what I want to understand is like, who are the grifters out there? They're like, ooh, my equity is just not doing very well. I tell you what, should we jump on this Bitcoin bandwagon and see if we can make a bit of extra money and then, tin the whole thing? How am I going to not get into some kind of pump and dump scenario like an altcoin? How do I actually look at this in a serious manner versus what the rest of the market might be doing? And the sell is so obvious, right? In terms of, you want to outpace Bitcoin? Yeah, maybe you're a bit scared of owning Bitcoin in self-custody. Why don't you buy my equity and I'll do it for you? And I can see a lot of people getting tripped up by that, especially with the issue with the unit bias of Bitcoin. They're like, oh shit, Bitcoin's at $115,000 a Bitcoin. I can't afford that. Maybe I'll just buy some of these companies. And that happens all the time, right? And my main fear is like, what happens in a bear market? Like, it's all very well launching a Bitcoin treasury company in the middle of a bull market where everyone's super excited about where the price is going of the underlying asset, Bitcoin, and they think they can trade at a multiple that is attractive. It's like, okay, cool, good for you. What happens when the momentum shifts? And that's my main fear with these things.